Hello guys, Sir Grandelot here, and Happy New Year! Happy 2021 everyone! Hopefully 2021 will not be 2020 part 2, it will be its own thing. 2020 had some pretty good memes, but that was it. Let's move on. Let's wait for 2021 to do its own thing. My holiday is finally over, thank God. And so I can go back to work and relax and do some grinding with AnimA and play some other games when I have a bit of time. What have I achieved in this week, more or less, that I've been away from the glory of YouTube? Well, let's have a look. On my character, I basically only changed the shield. This was my old one. If you may remember from my previous video, I was pretty happy about dropping a bad astral shield, because I didn't want to use an astral shield and infuse it with a bad diamond headband. So I used a bad astral shield and I infused it with a bad diamond headband. Then yesterday or 2 days ago, I dropped a fairly good astral shield and a fairly good diamond headband. I didn't want to put the fairly good diamond headband on the astral shield. But infusing the fairly good astral shield with the fairly good diamond headband was a noticeable improvement for my character. Because just by raw stats I gained 6000 magic damage and more than 1000 intellect, I believe. Yeah, more than 1000 intellect and 6000 magical damage just by swapping a piece of gear around. And since I don't really worry too much about crafting materials at the moment, I have plenty of everything apart from demon fingers, I decided to do it. It was a nice boost in damage. Everything else was about the same, like a very difference in armor, like 500 points or something. We don't care about armor too much, but damage was an improvement. And oh, I also threw an enchantment on it. Let me look on my Google documents what it is. +2 to all abilities, 234 dexterity and 129 lifesteal. So it's my standard enchantment, which apart from +2 to all abilities, it's absolutely trash. But I always find them like that. I don't know what's the problem with the game. I have never found a +2 to all abilities that had either intellect or magical damage. To me, those enchantments only have strength, dexterity, lifesteal, something about mana or whatever. In terms of farming, I got a lot of drops, really a lot. My bank here is almost full, and even the backpack of my warrior is basically full. I got 2 cast bands at tier 6 with very bad rolls, but you know, it's better than not having them. I believe I have 2 full sets of tier 6 Edona rings now, yes. Which can be extremely useful if like you want to do some temporary changes, but that you plan to modify in the long term. Having an extra set is good. Because it means that you can experiment, for example, on the Edona, what are they called? Wedding Band and Offer. Let's say that you have 2 of each, and you want to experiment something. You can waste one of them. Or, for example, if you have 2 Dragon Slayers, and you're waiting for the 3rd one, but you have a guillotine, you could put on one Edona Offer the guillotine, which will be extremely helpful. Then later on, if you drop a 3rd Dragon Slayer, you can throw it on your spare Edona's Offer. Oh, and by the way, in case you didn't know, the +2 to all abilities from the Edona rings, and apparently from all the other sets in the games, don't work. I don't remember if I mentioned it before, but yeah, at the moment they don't work, so I'm being nerfed by the developers, which is not nice. I got 4 out of 5 pieces for the valid set tier 6, sorry. I'm missing the X. I got a Dragon Slayer bow, yeah! I don't know how many hundreds of drops I got in this week that I've been on holiday. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I only got 1 Dragon Slayer, tier 6. Not ideal. I mean, the Dragon Slayer tier 6 is ideal, but the fact that I only got one is not ideal. I was hoping for something better. And then I've been saving a lot of stuff. I found some golden keys, I ran a few because I was getting bored, got some extra diamond headbands, got some tier 6 grids. I will never run out of Leonidas armors because I have a million. I have many demon bones, which is not particularly relevant because the diamond headband as an infusion is better. But I think it's good to have some extras. Anything else particularly relevant? No, I don't believe so. I got a few astral drops. There was a tier 5 Chaos Band, some tier 6 garbage. I recycled most of it. And for the Australian Wheel, I completed it. Well, at least the things I care about. So, intellect in the last slot, ranged skills for swords here, magical damage for swords here, single target ranged here, a magic find here, and of course, intellect here. I believe I can max this one, the critical damage one. Yeah, I have enough. And we could also purchase this one. AoE ranged. Yeah, we have enough. But we don't care too much about it right now. Because AoE ranged is only very useful in the arena if you're struggling to survive and you need to cast Storm and Meteor more than multi-missile. But at the moment I can basically complete the arena with multi-missile, so I don't really care about that too much. My next plans for the Australian Wheel will be to purchase the magic and skill bonuses for daggers so that I can farm with grid instead of the Astral Sword. I'm still looking for tier 6 Astral Sword. Not that it's really that important, but it would be nice. It would be nice. Let's head to do some farming, because I will not be playing an archer. Since I already have a spare Dragon Slayer bow, oh, you can see my damage here. I'm basically at 6 billion with Magic Orbit. And let's remove it for a moment to show you multi-missile. 38 billion and a bit, which is fairly respectable for a character that is less than 1 month old. The gear is pretty okay, to be honest, but the fact that I'm using tier 5 Idona rings with only 1 Dragon Slayer bow and 1 Eye of the Balor means that I'm missing a lot of damage. Oh, and the Idona rings are bugged, of course, because AnimA. That's the game, basically. And I've been farming here, I would say 95% of the time. I took a few breaks doing Forgotten Realm dungeons, that's how I got a nice enchantment. What are my priorities now? Well, topazes were almost there. Almost there. I still need a few hundred, because on helmet, swords, and jewels I have all divine topazes. On the shield I have 2 divine topazes, but on the chest I don't have any. Meaning that I still need 8 divine topazes, which means 54 multiply 8, 432, I think. Is it 432? I believe so. If it's not 432, please open up the calculator and do 54 multiply 8. That's the amount of regular topazes that I need. And then all my topazes will be divine, and I will be a happy camper for a while. Oh, hello, topaz. I was just talking about you. That was nice. After a holiday, of course, my throat had a bit of a return to the coughing period because it was fairly cold during the holiday. So even though the original sore throat completely recovered right before the holiday brought back some memories of how it feels like to not have a throat. So it feels a lot better compared to a couple of weeks ago. And I want to start going back to do some streaming in the near future. I will keep you updated on that. Here we'll be farming the Magician's Tower for a while. But if I... Oh my god, I didn't want to go here. I overshoot again. During the periods when I get more bored, I will definitely go for some Forgotten Real dungeons. Because I really like the Magician's Tower 5th floor. I really like it. But it's a bit like when you have a drink or a food that you really like and someone prepares it for you every day for months. Eventually you ask them to give you something different. Magician's Tower for me is like that. Like I could farm it for a week non-stop. And then something in my brain would activate and start telling me, Sir Grandel, we need something different. We need stimuli. We need something different to do. And that's when I would start running sub-optimal Forgotten Real dungeons. They're still okay. I usually start at 431, just because it's very easy grinding the Magician's Tower non-stop. It's very easy finding Magisters, kill them, and pick up a lot of keys, and you can throw away all those with a bad roll, and so you start with some nice drop rate multipliers. At the moment I don't care about gold at all. I have almost 18 billion, and I will never need that much for this character. There is not that much stuff that I need to craft for this one. I don't plan to play the Archer for this season. I think the Warrior would be very happy, just because I dropped so much stuff for the Warrior. Basically, the only almost must-have item that I didn't drop was the hammer called Wardank, whatever it is. That's the only one I didn't drop. But everything else, like Queen of Blades, Leonida's Armor, Burdens of the Damned, Seal of War, Hephaestus, the new helmet, the new sword with 6 slots. I got them all. Like, my warrior could go to Kral right now. But it's level 150 at Reincarnation 1, so we don't worry about the warrior for a while. Okay. Oh, hello, Magister. I was talking about you. Okay, 1.7 drop rate, let's keep it. I could actually run it. We've been recording here for just a bit more than 10 minutes, so I still have a fairly long grinding session ahead of me, and I could be running a couple of keys. Okay. Yeah, doing this amount of damage with Magic Orbit, I really love farming in the tower. Basically everything instantly dies. And it has been like that for a while. You don't need the 6 billion with Magic Orbit to kill everything. When you're around 2.5, 3 billion, you are one-shotting everything. The amount of drops you get is ludicrous. Really ludicrous. You always need to consider drops per hour, not per single map. Because if you go by single map, you could have a bad one where you get only 1 drop, and you're like, oh no, I only got 1 drop. Sir Grindelot scammed me. But if you check how long it takes you to have a full backpack on average, or if you grind for a few hours and take note of how many drops you got, you will notice this map is really neat. Multi-missile is good for clearing. And it's funny that my multi-missile, I believe, is at 78. Let me check. Yeah, 78. And I only tap it occasionally to clear the rooms, because Magic Orbit can get everything done by itself. But of course, when I start grinding higher reincarnation, Forgotten Realms, I will need multi-missile more than anything else. This is all thanks to the Diamond Headband, of course, because +2 to all abilities and +3 to multi-missile is such a huge boost. I don't know who thought of that item, but I'm happy he's part of a team of the developers. The helmet for Archer, not so much. That one is a bit trashy. The one for Warrior is okay. One for Warrior is okay. The one for Mage is completely imbalanced. But it's okay. Mage needs some imbalanced gear. Because if you check any equipment database... Oh, is that... What's that? It's not a Queen of Blades. Oh, Devil Claw. It's not bad, but Queen of Blades is a bit better. If you check any item database, you will notice that the armors or many pieces of equipment that are specific for Archer or Warrior on average are so much better than those that are specific for Mage. I mean, try to compare a Strength of the Weak with a Leonidas armor, and the comparison is quite embarrassing. Or most of Mage weapons with a Dragon Slayer bow. Like, what? Is this even the same game? But then, of course, Mage makes up for that with Magic Shield, which, if you have it at a high enough skill level, it doesn't make you immortal, but it really, really helps you. And then Multi-Missile, which clears the whole map basically every time you cast it. Yeah, Mage is in a very good spot, very, very good spot. But the equipment, when you actually equip it, for the most part, you feel a bit bad. But it's okay, it's a very good character. By far my favorite in AnimA. With the Warrior being a close second. The Warrior is fun, you spin around. I like spinning around with the Warrior. My plan for the near future are, yeah, to just focus on dropping Diamond Headbands. I want a few, possibly an Astral one, that would be ideal. Then I want a few with very good rolls to use on as my main gear. Other than that, well, an Astral armor would be nice. Then, what else am I missing? Astral armor. Astral Diamond Headband. An Astral Chaos Band would be nice. Tier 6, not Tier 5. Because I got a Tier 5 and it made me slightly upset. But that's a problem with Magician's Tower. You always have a slightly higher chance of finding Tier 5 rather than Tier 6. In the long run, you make up for that just by the sheer amount of stuff that you can drop. But eventually, it happens that you get a Tier 5 thing that you were really, really looking forward to finding at Tier 6, and you get upset. And, oh, I dropped here my Tier 6 Dragon Slayer bow, of course. If it was a Tier 5, it would have been absolutely fine. I have a spare Edona ring... I don't remember which one, this one. The Edona offer. I have a spare Edona offer at Tier 5, meaning that if I drop a Tier 5 Dragon Slayer, I can run a much better setup than what I have right now. Do I need it? Not for the Magician's Tower. Like, the stage at which I am right now is way overkill for Magician's Tower. But I like farming it. Requires little to no attention. It's quick, it's safe, you get a lot of drops per hour. I basically no longer need essence points. At least I want to... at least until I want to start farming with double grid. And considering how much damage the Diamond Headband gives, I was thinking about waiting for an Astral or good roll in terms of sockets. Demonic Guard. The stats on the Demonic Guard are for the most part useless for Mage, because it's like health, vitality, thorns, I believe. But it's the only shield with 6 slots and +1 to all abilities, which is a little bit of a boost for Mage compared to other shields with 6 slots. And the Demonic Guard would allow me to run an extra couple of Divine Topazes, and I could infuse it with a grid, all meanwhile using a Tier 6 grid for farming. And if with that setup, once the Australian Wheel is complete, I'm dealing enough damage for this map, I could be using it. That's a lot more magic fine than what I have right now. I'm currently at 23,000, I believe. 23,000 and a little bit. And add a couple of topazes, bring back a grid, and yeah, we're very, very close to 30,000. But we still need a lot of topazes. Don't remember how many. I made the calculation earlier, I forgot. What was it? 400 something, I believe. So 50... I think it was 432 minus those that we have. So it will still take days. Very, very, very slow progress with topazes. But you know, just by farming for gear you get topazes. You notice them on the ground, you pick them up, you open a chest, you pick them up. And they help, they all help. Like, farming here at 10,000 magic find and farming here at 20,000 or more magic find is very different. Very, very different. Because the more monsters you kill, the more magic find helps you. Like, if you go farm Blacklands. No, not the Blacklands. What's it called? The devil thing. The one before Kral. You know, with the reincarnation 20 monsters and whatever. Like, if it takes you 1 minute to kill a monster, having 30,000 magic find doesn't help you a lot. It's not a very good deal, really, when it comes to finding new equipment. I should not be pressing multi-missile so much. I still have that muscle memory. Every now and then it's very useful. Because when there is a champion pack on a floor, multi-missile clears it 100% of the time. But I should not be using it as often as I do. It's Ruby. We don't care about rubies. It's a slight waste of time. A minor one, but if I could avoid it, it would be better. I believe my backpack is almost full. We should be very close to a full backpack. Right now, in terms of drops, apart from Dragon Slayers and the Astral stuff that I mentioned earlier, the only thing that I could slightly care about is a tier 6 Astral Sword. What gem was that? Topaz! Nice! A tier 6 Astral Sword, just because it will be a slightly improvement over what I have. But I will not be leveling up the warrior just for the Astral Sword. I have one on the main character, plus many in the bank, so I will not be too concerned about an Astral Sword. It would be nice to get it. Definitely would be nice to get it. Any improvement helps. As I have a sip of tea. Because I will not be farming here forever. Eventually I will get to the point where the only way to improve this character will be enchantments. And they can also be useful for my... Let's call it endgame character. What's this? Dane's Lymph. It's a nice Cabalite. Do I want to keep the Devil Claw? Not really. Nah, not really. I already have Queen of Blades here. And besides, I don't think I will be playing Warrior. But in the case I decide that I want to play Warrior, I already have Queen of Blades. The only infusion I'm missing is the War Danak, War Dank, whatever it is. But I could infuse a Claymore in it. It's not a huge deal. Oh, we have 2 keys. Oh, that one is really nice. That one is amazing. You know what? That key is basically the chosen one. So, let's run it. Of course, this kind of level of Forgotten Realms, you essentially farm like the Magician's Tower. You one-shot everything. But you waste time. You really waste a lot of time. I don't think there is any way to properly test. Is the Magician's Tower better than endless Forgotten Realm dungeons with 1.7 multiplier keys? I cannot test it. I'm sorry. To To test something like that, it would take many hours. It's time that I don't have. Or I would have it, but I would have to stop playing the game the way I do it right now. And no, I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. Or I would have to quit my full-time job. Doesn't sound like a very good deal to me. What do we have there? Yeah, piece of trash. It doesn't sound like a very good deal to me. I will think about it and I will let you guys know. But don't hold your breath. Yeah, what you see now is the problem with the Forgotten Realms, which is eventually you get to a point where the devs decided that you have to backtrack the whole map. And you're wasting time. Is that wasting time worthy? No, it's the other way around. Does the 1.7 drop rate multiplier make the time waste worth it? I don't know. I guess it also depends if you need enchantments. Because if you need enchantments, you find them here. Well, you have the opportunity of finding them there. Here. This one, the Blackland map. Not Blackland, Black Palace. If there was a system that allowed you to choose the map when you open a Forgotten Realm key, and we could pick this map 100% of the time, regardless of monster population and occasional slight backtracking, this one would be better than Magician's Tower. But we cannot. So, unless the devs will introduce a system that allows us to pick the Forgotten Realm map design of our choice, I would still stick with Magician's Tower as my farming location. This map is really good. Extremely linear, and the monster population is higher than the Magician's Tower. This is what makes this map really good. There are way more monsters than in the Magician's Tower. Double key? Not very good. Okay. 1.6 is okay. Will I run a golden key if I drop it? Yeah, why not? I mean, I have a piece of equipment with no enchantment at all. So if I dropped a bad enchantment, it would still be a slight improvement over what I have. I mean, if I drop something like 7 magic find, okay, it's better than not having it. Bit of lag there, not sure why. In large crowded rooms, it's always good to throw multi-missile. Because Magic Orbit sometimes doesn't believe in itself. Like, I believe in Magic Orbit. I trust it. But sometimes you walk next to monsters and Magic Orbit doesn't do anything. And I'm not sure why. I'm really not sure why. But it does it every now and then. And even on the Magician's Tower, not just here. I noticed it so many times that I could run on the stairs. And I don't know, there are 8 monsters. Magic Orbit will kill 7. And one right next to me. The small orbits like will spin around it and leave it there unarmed. And come back to me and I will be like, why? How much did he pay you? Oh yeah, a nice ballista. Is there any good ballista with the new patch? I don't even know. I know many people are talking about the bow that makes them crash the game. I'm not sure about ballista, or is it a ballista and I'm just mistaken? Everything is possible. What is it? Ballista. They run out of ideas. By the time they design that one, they run out of ideas. Oh, I'm tired of zombies and dogs already. Okay. No zombies and dogs in this map is glorious. Even slightly more glorious than the Magician's Tower, if I may say so. But where are the drops? Where is the drop rate multiplier? Sometimes the drop rate multiplier really confuses me. I killed way more monsters than in a Magician's Tower, and yet I got an infused core. Oh, of course I dropped out of the top 100 in Forgotten Realm level because I simply don't farm and I stopped. There was a day that I was bored and I ran a key which was 500 something, I don't even remember. And that was it, I didn't touch the Forgotten Realms ever again. Just Magician's Tower. I care about the loot more than the leaderboard for the Forgotten Realm and the Kral kill. I think I should be able to kill Kral now. 225 million? Yeah, easily. With this DPS, especially considering that I have topazes, not the sapphires, Kral is an easy kill. I think that to make my life a bit easier, I could slot a few armor gems, because we are a bit light. There is definitely a slight survivability issue with the Diamond Headband compared to the Dahlia. Definitely a difference there. And also I have to consider that on my main character gear I have a lot of +2 to all abilities enchantments, meaning that Magic Shield reduces damage a lot. No, this one is trash. Magic Shield reduces damage a lot. So even having not really high armor is not a huge deal. But on this character, having lower armor and lower Magic Shield can be a bit trickier, even if I have a lot of hit points. So I wouldn't mind dropping 1 or 2 armor gems in order to try to kill Kral. I mean, not really try, it would be easy to kill it, just takes a bit of time. Do we want to do it now? Half an hour? No. I think it will take me more than half an hour, and I don't want to do it. Okay, all these keys are trash, so we're done. Let's go to the Magician's Tower. Nice. Farewell, trash key. You had your chance to shine, but you squandered it when you decided to have a 1.3 drop rate multiplier. Oh, that's fair. Trash? Okay. Yeah, knowing that I don't need to go backtrack just makes me feel happy. I have a smile on my face. It can be a bit boring, oh, don't get me wrong, because it's the same path all the time, non-stop, forever, until they introduce a new and better area, or until we will be able to select the Forgotten Realm maps. But yeah, it can be a bit boring after a while. Hello. That's why it's nice to have a few keys in the bank, so that if you're really bored with this, you just go Forgotten Realms for a while, or you go to say hi to Kral, or whatever. There are many things you can do. You can also have a break. I mean, I took a break of a couple of weeks some time ago, where I basically didn't play AnimA at all. It was right before the multiplayer expansion, I believe. And then when I started to play multiplayer, I thought it was really dull and I didn't like it. But I went back to play anyway. Just having a break was good. I'm having a break from Titan Quest right now. We'll probably pick it up a bit later if I get bored of grinding here. Because, you know, it's a matter of, you have a goal, which for me at the moment is Astral Chaos Band, Astral Chest, Diamond Headband with good roll, you know, that sort of stuff. It's not easy to achieve, and it can take days, if not weeks, to find something. So eventually you start to feel a bit burned out, and you need a break. And it's good to have a break, it's really good. But you need to make sure that you're doing things the proper way, because if it takes you, I don't know, sometimes on the Facebook, especially on the Facebook page, not so much on the Discord or Reddit, but I almost daily find posts like, guys, I've been playing the game for 6 months, I'm level 79, I'm done because I logged out and I logged in and I lost my, I don't know what, and I lost my tier 4 tortoise cage, the game is bad, bye. It's like, oh, are you sure you're doing the right thing? If after months of gameplay you are level 70 or 100 or 200 or whatever, because I think you're not really doing things the way they're supposed to be done. Look, like, go on Discord, look for some information, use Reddit, use anything, just ask questions. Oh, that's a very good roll. Why are you doing this to me? I just crafted one. I just crafted one. And the roll on this one is slightly better than the one I currently have, so I will keep it. Because I think that if one day... but I already have some astral ones. I don't know. I will need to think about it. But you know, Astral Shield with a good roll on a seasonal character, let's keep it. Oh no, I'm going the wrong way. So yeah, if you're not many... okay, let me rephrase it in a way so that my brain will not have an aneurysm. If you're not making any progress in the game, there are 2 options. One is that you are so far in the end game that the improvements that you can achieve in terms of gear or Australian wheel or whatever are so few and so difficult to find that it takes you very long stretches of gameplay to actually achieve them, or you're doing something wrong. You're simply doing something wrong. So look for some info. If the only thing you're missing on your character is an astral sword and everything else is absolutely fine, then yeah, it's just a matter of RNG, and if you feel a bit burned out, have a break from the game or try a different character, try playing the warrior, you get a better chance at finding swords, you know, that sort of stuff. If after 3 months you are level 120 and you are butthurt because like an app that you have not updated it since forever had some issue after you updated it, and you were playing offline but you wanted to transfer the character online and it got deleted and you're wondering why, how could it happen? It's not a problem of the game, I'm sorry. I know it sounds harsh to all those people who took... who need 18 years to make it to level 200 on one character, but you get to a point where you need to move on. There are Flappy Birds, Angry Birds, there are many other options out there. Is a Flappy Bird still a thing? There was a year, a summer, whatever, everyone was playing that bloody Flappy Bird. Was it Flappy Birds or Floppy Birds? Floppy Birds? Is it even a thing? I don't remember it. But it should have been Flappy Birds. Why am I thinking about Flappy Birds right now? I don't know. That's how my brain works anyway. Sometimes it just goes on a tangent and I don't even know what I was thinking about. Anyway, go play Flappy Birds. It's a good game. It was. I think the guy removed it from the store because he could not handle the pressure of having people actually playing his game. It was a weird story. It was a very weird story. How long are we? 40 minutes. Okay. Yeah, can definitely keep going for a while. I have time. I don't want the recording to be destroyed. So far, Audacity seems to be okay. If you made it this far, and the sound is okay, it means that maybe the problem that I had with my microphone in my last 2 episodes was either the HDMI port, which is next to the USB port. Was that a double drop from a single pack? Yes, and it was Demon Finger, that's nice. The problem was either the HDMI port right next to the USB plug with the microphone, or the multi-USB plug that I was using, because my laptop only has 3 USB outputs, which sucks. And one is for the mouse, because I refuse to use the pad on the laptop. It's not going to happen. Laptop producers, please release a version of your laptop that does not have a mousepad at a lower price. Like, you don't need to develop the chassis, the body of the laptop to have a mousepad. You can save a lot of money in research and development. You don't need to make up stories about your mousepad being the greatest ever. Just release it without a mouse. You have to plug an external one to use it, and I will be very happy to get that laptop at a slightly lower price. What was I saying? Yes, the USB ports of my laptop. One is for the external mouse, and one is for the Wi-Fi dongle, because the Wi-Fi on my laptop is abysmal. Asus made a very good laptop with the VivoBook Pro. Like, the sound is pretty good. The screen is more than decent. It's not as good as the ZenBook Pro, but it's still pretty good. Great CPU, 16 gigabytes of RAM, graphic card, good enough. But the Wi-Fi is atrocious. Really, really atrocious. So I had to buy a USB dongle, and it's plugged there all the time. Then there is the last USB thingy, which is usually a keyboard if I have to type for long periods of time, but when I'm recording AnimA videos, it's my external USB microphone. And I was running out of space to plug everything, and during a period where I wanted to have both the microphone and the keyboard plugged in, I used one of those USB switchers that essentially give you extra USB plugs. And very often when I used it, my microphone got insane and started to record white noise out of nowhere. White noise at a very, very low volume. Not ideal. It was like those horror stories from the torture camps in Vietnam, with prisoners of war saying that they were forced to stay in front of a TV or a radio which only emitted white noise 24/7, and they could not sleep. But then when you have newborn kids, they tell you that if you have a white noise machine, they can sleep better. How does any of that works? I don't know. I really don't understand it. But that was the problem with my laptop. Apparently. I changed my recording setup a little bit. Because I think that in terms of video, my phone is doing a fairly good job at recording like smooth gameplay, and apart from when the videos are too long and as a recorder corrupts them, they look okay. I think they look pretty okay. But the sound from the phone is bad. Plus I'm using a plastic grip which covers the sound even more. So I'm always looking for ways to improve the sound of my videos when I record them on the computer, which is not always possible, but when I can, I would like them to sound a little bit better, not like trash. Garnets look so much like topazes. They look so much like topazes. I don't even know what they look like in real life, honestly. I know a ruby is red, an emerald is green, a sapphire is blue. I don't know what's a topaz. I think it's yellow, just because in the game it's yellow. I don't know what's a garnet. I really have no idea. Diamonds are white-ish? Transparent white? Something like that. Is transparent white a thing, or is just transparent? I don't know. Look it up on Google and you can learn it with me. And then we will both learn something new this episode. It will be great. Learn with Sir Grindalot. It will be a new series. Like Sir Grindalot will open Google and will look for random things that he doesn't know. And eventually there will be a random thing that you didn't know as well. And it will be like, wow, today I watched a 7-hour stream with Sir Grindalot. And I learned something that I didn't know before. It was totally worth it. I could have spent those 7 hours taking a university class. But instead I have learned the way in which sparrows copulate furiously outside of his window is actually a mating pattern spread all around the world. Now I feel like I am a better person. And you will be. You will be. And by the way, the sparrows fornicating outside of my window, it's something that happens almost daily. I don't know what's the deal with that. I have some horny sparrows living around my home. I live in the countryside, and there are all sorts of weird birds. And then there are sparrows, which are not very weird, but they just land on my balcony and fornicate there. It's so weird. It's like a brothel. I don't know why, because I did not even put any, those little bird houses where you put the food in them to attract birds, and you let them have something to eat, and maybe you can also take pictures of them. No, I don't have anything like that. But they just land on my balcony next to my plants and flowers, and they start to fornicate. And then once they're done, they leave. It's so weird. It's so weird. Will this video be like PG-18 or something like that? Because I'm talking about birds that fornicate. I don't know. I honestly have no idea about the rules on YouTube. I know they get triggered when you upload a video, and if it's for kids or if it's not for kids, like they really want to know if it's for kids or if it's not for kids. Otherwise, you cannot upload it. And if I wanted to say, well, it's not really targeted at kids, but it's okay for kids. No, they don't want it like that. They get angry, and they send people at your home. Maybe. Maybe. I'm not sure if that's how it works, but I wouldn't be too surprised. How long are we? 47 minutes. 47 is okay. It's still safe. Can do a few more floors. Look, did you see the guy there at the top of the stair? The one that is chasing me. Magic Orbit refused to kill it. I don't know why. Is it for the different height? I really don't know. Sometimes it just doesn't work. It's the opposite of Fallout 76. Ironically the opposite, of course. I'm referring to the meme of it just works. Sometimes I refer memes that are a bit old, and in my head I'm like, I know that meme, it was fun. Is it still fun? Is this a hello fellow kids moment? I have those moments 20-25 times a day. The hello fellow kids moments. And for me the biggest one is always when I see younger people, I would say under 20, using keyboards. Because I was raised in the era where computers started to exist. So I had to learn everything about them, like from keyboards to keyboard and mouse to touch interfaces. So I'm familiar with all of them, but the interface I'm the least used about is the touch interface. I can use smartphones and tablets very well, but people who are much younger than me and who grew up mostly with smartphones and tablets, they're much faster than me at touch interfaces. On the other hand, there are times when I see a teenager handling a keyboard, and I feel embarrassed by how slow they do it. It's like, it's a keyboard, it's not your enemy. There are pads, you can touch them and you get a response on the screen. And they try to swipe the screen of their desktop, and I'm like, okay. Hello, fellow kid. Do you even keyboard? Do I even touch a screen? It's the same situation, basically. Not always, of course. Hashtag not all, because when you make this kind of statement online, you always need to add hashtag or not all, or there will be someone triggered, because it's like, I'm not like that at all. I can type 3 words a minute. I'm able to use a keyboard. Huh, Sir grind a lot. What are you talking about? It's always like that. So hashtag not all, don't worry, I was not talking about you. You're good with at using keyboard and mouse. Yes, good. I'm good at having endless cough. Each person has its own superpowers. We're at the 50-minute mark. Let's dare to run one more floor. Wait, was it a topaz? No. Bloody garnets, bloody garnets. Why did I almost die there? Do I have some broken piece of equipment? It's the first time that I see the screen going red in weeks. What the hell? Yeah, last floor, when we call it a day. So far we have been blessed with a audio recording that should not have any issues. We didn't get any useful drops, I believe. If we did, I don't remember it. At least it was nothing that I'm really actively looking forward to. I'm always okay putting stuff in the bank for, you know, safety, having some spares, all sort of reasons, but like if I think I put in the bank an Aether which had a good intellect roll, which is not saying much because Aether sucks, but that one had a good intellect roll, so I put it in the bank. But it's not like a successful grinding session because I got an Aether with a good roll. It's a pretty bad session if your best drop is an Aether with a good roll. I don't want to go to town, like, to recycle just to make space for one drop at a time. Is that it? Yeah, let's go to town. Identify stuff, see if there is anything decent. What's this? That. The intellect roll is awful. Oh, tier 5, my god. Why tier 5? I need tier 6. We got a demon finger. Yeah. Yeah. Everything else will be recycled, which is okay. Which is absolutely okay. This is Sir Grindelot checking out. Again, Happy New Year, guys. I hope you have had a great start of 2021, and I hope the rest of the year will be great as well for you. This is Sir Grindelot checking out, wishing you all a happy grinding, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Take care.